I've met many sethjis in my life, not just one. And over a long career, I have interacted with politicians of all hues across the board, and made certain observations and arrived at certain conclusions, and all of that went into the creation of Sethji. So he's not based on any one character. He's a composite of many politicians over the last 30 years of my experience, and it was my way of making whatever statement I wish to make about a system that we all need to be a little worried about. Well, what I find completely fascinating about television today, television on the whole, it's the most potent medium for change in the world. It's the most potent medium that reflects popular culture. It's the most potent medium that is a reflection again of our aspirations, our hopes, our dreams, our fantasies, our fears. It may seem absurd because the focus seems to be a lot on crime and exposés and stings, but those are also the times we live in. It's either that or you get the serials which are based in a certain absurd context where huge, gigantic families, almost communities, exist in a world that is so completely crazy and in a gigantic, massive Haveli where all the ladies go to bed with pink eyeshadow and wake up with purple lipstick and so on. And it's an extension of the Saas Bahu thing. Television in the US right now is something that I find very fascinating in terms of the soaps that they're doing, because they're more a reflection of their reality rather than something that the audience just cannot connect to. In India, we've moved way away from reality. So either we are doing reality television itself, which in itself has nothing to do with reality. I mean, a program like The Roadies, for example, is something that I don't think all of India talks that way or behaves that way, or something like The Big Boss, which is a phenomenon in terms of what it's saying, that nastiness is good. It's a part of change. It's what the youth of today we seem to be connecting to, otherwise we wouldn't be getting those kind of TRPs. And then of course we have the Amitabh Bachchan program, and we have Satyameva Jayate, Amir Khan's program. But soaps have undergone a very dramatic change. I enjoyed the soaps that I did. They were ahead of their time. I enjoyed Swabhimaan a lot. I enjoyed Kitty Party. I enjoyed Sarkar. I enjoyed, well, I think I wrote 5 or 6. I enjoyed them all. I hope to do some more soaps in the future. Right now I cannot connect with what's on TV. I just don't find it entertaining or engaging or amusing. I just find it irritating, and my stress levels go up, so I don't watch it. You know, when one talks about objectivity in journalism, of course that is the ideal. Every journalist aspires to be objective. But I'm not just a journalist, I'm a columnist. And an opinion can never be an objective opinion. It is necessarily subjective. Your editors choose you because your opinion is your opinion. It's an opinion that has credibility, that has some value, that has some worth, which is why readers turn to you if they haven't completely understood an issue, or if they want to just read a different point of view. You have to be free of prejudice. You have to be as fair as you can. You have to be very honest. But at the end of the day, you're putting yourself on the line. You're putting your name on the line. You're putting your opinion on the line. That comes with a huge price tag. And there's no such thing as a detached, objective column or columnist. You know, these days when I come back to St. Xavier's, and I'm on the advisory board, so I come back from meetings quite often, and I walk the same corridors, and I walk to the principal's office, and I'm always a little afraid because that old guilt and that old punishment thing surfaces, because I was forever being summoned to the principal's office when I was a student, and I wasn't the best behaved student. I used to bunk class a lot. I used to be called up a lot. My attendance record was not fantastic. I preferred sports, and I was very happy that St. Xavier's nurtured that, and St. Xavier's continues to nurture those who don't conform, who are different in some way or the other. They nurture a lot of creativity, they recognize talent, they value merit, they reward those who earn that position for themselves. But my best years, certainly my best years as a student, were spent at Xavier's. It put up with me. It accommodated me. It didn't demand too much of me. It made me who I am today. It made me a very independent thinker. My radical views were not put down as harshly as they would have been perhaps in other colleges. But more than anything, I thought my takeaway from Xavier's was that it was truly, truly democratic and fair and secular. There was no class consciousness. There were people from across Mumbai, from across India. We were all Xavierites. It was like one family. And no one cared what your economic background was, or whether you were rich, poor, middle class, elite. All of that wasn't missing. And we had absolutely brilliant professors. So I still feel I owe Xavier's a big one. And once a Xavierite, always a Xavierite. If you want to be a writer, just write. The more you write and the more you read, the better your language skills become. It's a little like a classical singer. You want to be a classical singer? Well, even a semi-classical singer or a pop singer like an Asha Bhosle or a Lata Mangeshkar, I mean, these are legendary people. Till today, 60 years of singing later, they still do their riyaz every day of their lives. That's why they are who they are. That's why they are where they are. That's why their voice is so supple. And that's what you can do with your prose or your poetry. The more you write, the more in control you are. And at the end of it all, writing is a craft. It's like embroidery. You start embroidering a large quilt, and then you forget the first stitch that you have taken in that embroidery. It's the end of your embroidery and the end of the quilt. Similarly, with writing, you have to have a great amount of passion, for writing, because it's not a particularly lucrative thing, so you really need to love it. You need to have a tremendous curiosity about life. You need to be interested in people. You need to be interested in yourself. You need to be interested in the world. You need to keep your eyes and ears open. You need to have your antenna up all the time. You need to be sensitive to signals. You need to just be switched on and tuned in. 24/7, you need to be writing even in your sleep. Then you call yourself a writer.